One of the other interesting things that are happening with social media networks is that people are now self-marketing. And there are some really great examples, traditional and not so traditional. We all know that people are putting out, you know, I'm such and such, hire me, here's your Hire Friday hashtag up here on the top. I thought this was a great, I mean, you get that I'm a great person, hire me sort of thing, but she really kind of nails it. Executive assistant who brings order to chaos. And then she hashtagged it so people that were looking in Houston and for assistance and were following Hire Fridays might pick it up. So those that are recruiting, you might pick it up. It's about being different in a social media world. It's not about being the same. The more different you are, the more notoriety you will receive. Twiler, and I will touch on this a little more. This is one that came up just the other day. It's here in Columbus, supply chain analyst. This is somebody you guys looking for something? And their hashtag, that one wasn't hashtag, that one came from LinkedIn. But I pick it up because I follow everything that goes through Columbus, Indiana. And in the bottom, similar sort of thing, they did hashtag these. They hashtag them for Indianapolis, Columbus, Bloomington, through LinkedIn, looking for career opportunities. So people are self-marketing themselves. And you as HR people can find them through these things. You actually don't have to engage to find people, and I'll touch on that in a minute as well. These are the kind of things that make a difference. And there are all sorts of stories, and you can spend hours just reading stories about how people got jobs just because they put out a Twitter. I thought this was a really good candidate. I came across this recently. I'm being followed by a Jeep, and now if Cummins Engines would follow me, and you notice that he tagged them, so they would pick it up, I think my life would be complete. Cummins, is anybody here from Cummins? Cummins didn't miss a beat. I love the tweet they put back out to him. They replied to his tweet and said, great, just don't start quoting Jerry Maguire, okay? That's the new corporate culture, and that was coming from Cummins, and I was like, yes! I like that! So I don't know if he's looking for a job or if he works there, but if he was looking for a job, he just got somebody to pay attention to him. And that's what it's about. It's about standing out. It's about being that different apple in the basket. But this is what people are doing, and it's the wittiness and with the ingenuity that makes them different. This is probably one of the best case scenarios. This guy wanted a new job, so he bought Google AdWords. He bought Google AdWords that contained the top execs in New York City. Because people like that Google themselves. A lot of us Google ourselves. And when they Google themselves, this is what shows up. Googling yourself is a lot of fun. Hiring me is fun too. $6. $6. It's just because he thought out of the box. He bought Google AdWords. He thought out of the box. This is what your sphere of influence does. It's about being different. These are the kind of people you want to work for you. The people that think out of the box. These are the kind of people I want to hang out with. These are the kind of people I follow because I love to listen to the different things they go on and do. So, time to self-promote. Maybe. I'm so glad you guys are awake. I guess you've had enough coffee. I was really worried when I put this in. So, from your standpoint, who should you use? A lot of options. Here are the big boys. LinkedIn, we talked about that. LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Craigslist, I wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for Craigslist. Don't laugh. That's again me in background. I'll be more than happy to go into that. But there are a lot of interesting things that come out of Craigslist. The last three, Simply Hired, Juju, and Indeed. Anybody using those now? Indeed. Indeed. Okay. These are basically job search engines. They go out and search and give you results for people in the area. So these numbers, they represent, when I did the search 2 or 3 days ago, they represent the number of jobs available in the Columbus market within a 25-mile range. Those are real. Those are posting we can find for jobs available. So if you're not using it and you're posting online, you might want to make sure that you're hitting these. But I thought it was interesting. There's quite a big disparity there. I think one of them was 20 miles, one of them was 25. But I'm like, wow, 2,000 jobs in Columbus, that's interesting. But something that if you're not paying attention to, you might want to look. So let's go a little more in depth. LinkedIn. What do you do to get your company on LinkedIn? If you're not, man, it's not rocket science. It's really simple. It doesn't take long. You just log into the account. Just create a LinkedIn. Who has a LinkedIn account? Let's start there. Okay, good. Most pretty. Create a LinkedIn account. Make sure your company is on there. Put your logo. Put your contact information. Maybe if you have a Twitter account, tie that into that corporate account. And if you have a blog tied in, these companies at the bottom represent ones that I know for a fact do have LinkedIn presence and are using it. Also encourage your employees to join your LinkedIn account because it's that network that connects you. It's that sphere of influence that helps you when you start doing recruiting because they can find you from them. This is just an example of the Republic's LinkedIn page. The company page is still in beta version, and I think it needs a lot to be desired, but it'll get there. Facebook alone will drive it to be a little more visually and enticing, but it does exist. One of the most interesting things I think about that's just happening with LinkedIn, for those of you that are employing college grads or seeking and recruiting college grads, they just unrolled this beta product called the Career Explorer that's really designed for college grads. 200,000 college grads are joining this every month. That's a staggering number. And it will exponentially grow from there. But they're basically working with those grads to put them in the night networks to help them source the jobs that suit them the best, find job openings, and recommend potential employers to follow them. So if college grad is something, I highly suggest you take a look at this. Some other job posting case studies. Twitter. There are simply, the hospital I know has a Twitter account that runs. There are simply companies that run Twitter accounts for the sole purpose of promoting positions. Some of them do it better than others. The ones that do it the best are the ones that not only do they promote the open jobs available, they talk about the culture, and they give you tips on how to really be prepared for interviews and sort of things like that. Those tend to be the ones that are a little more actively engaged. Some of them are going to get huge followers just because people want to work for you. If people want to work for you, they're going to follow you because they want to find a way in. Because in this economy, people are looking for any edge that's going to change that. One of the other interesting things is video is becoming a more used, more than I anticipated, way to promote corporate culture. This happens to be a cruise line that does this 10-minute video, and I'll spare you the details. But 10 minutes video, they interview about a half a dozen employees that really candidly talk about what it's like to be on a cruise line. So video is something that you should also consider if it suits your needs and is up